For all of your sports in Lorain, keep your TV tuned to TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television.
Welcome to the 34th annual Lorain County High School Wrestling All-Star Meet. Tonight at Elyria High School, I'm Ron Polensky alongside Joe Bach on WLCS TV 20. And tonight we'll have the best of high school wrestlers in Lorain County. It's a way to end the 2014 season, as they will be out here again in all the weight classes. And we'll bring you all the action. There'll be 3 mats for each weight class, and we'll bounce around and try to get you as much of the action as we possibly can tonight. Again, it's the best in wrestling in Lorain County, the 2014 Lorain County Wrestling All-Star match from Elyria High School. We'll have it for you next on WLCS TV 20, home of Lorain City Schools Television.
Most people probably think, when it comes to horses, my passion is mainly for training and competition. But they're wrong. Growing up side by side with Australia's wildlife gave me a deep respect for every animal. And if I know my fans at all, I know you have the same passion for animals that I do. So I had to tell you about an organization I believe in, one that makes a difference in the lives of animals all over the world, the Morris Animal Foundation. For more than 60 years, animal lovers like me have trusted Morris Animal Foundation to help animals worldwide enjoy longer, healthier lives. I am asking you to do the same. Visit morrisanimalfoundation.org to support animal health and welfare worldwide. Your gift today, mate, will give animals a healthier tomorrow. You and the animals you love will be glad you did.
And you hear the applause from the crowd here at Elyria High School as the parade of wrestlers coming through. Again, there'll be 3 wrestling matches at every weight class, starting at 106. And obviously we'll focus in on the Lorain wrestlers, but we're going to get you action all throughout the evening. And again, they have the parade here of all the wrestlers coming in to Elyria High School. And a very nice crowd here at Elyria High School. Very impressed with the size of this crowd for the 34th annual Lorain County Wrestling Coaches Association All-Star match.
Everyone to be here this evening. We'd like to thank each and every one of these young men. What an outstanding year I know they've all had.
For Lorain at 106, we have Devin Edwards. At 113, Brandon Bartolome. Wrestling at 126, Xavier Edwards. At 138, George Colvin. At 145, Raekwon Timpton. At 152 pounds for Lorain tonight, Aaron Huff. Also looking at some more Lorain wrestlers for you at 195 pounds, Adam Kukta. 220, it'll be Andre Torres, and at 285, Sadi Santana. So those are the Lorain wrestlers that will be featuring tonight. And as Joe told me beforehand, get ready to jump around because we'll bring you all the action that we can, and from throughout tonight as well on the other matches.
And Rob, we have 3 mats here tonight. The center mat being your championship mat.
Right, and then we'll have a mat for 3rd and 4th place, and then also one for 5th and 6th, as the county all-star wrestlers will do that. And again, they're going to have Joe, what they'll do is they'll have all the weight classes, or have every match at a particular weight class finish before they move on to the next weight class. And then about every 3 weight classes or so, they're going to have presentations of some awards, and we'll try to bring you as much of that as we can as well. And my first opportunity to do the Lorain County Wrestling All-Star match, and I'm looking forward to it. Joe, you've been part of this in years past?
Yeah, I think for us it's probably about the sixth or 7th year that we've done this. Yeah, and it's and especially now with our YouTube channel, it gives a lot of the wrestlers and their families an opportunity to possibly see their kids on television, which a lot of schools don't have the coverage, and even some that do, they don't cover the wrestling. They don't get as much coverage as your basketball players.
Sure, of course. And, of course, coming off the state tournament last weekend, we will have a state champion today wrestling, Joe, and it's Sebastian Vidica out of Black River High School, and we'll see him right away at 106 pounds.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
All right, well, we have the national anthem, so we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have some wrestling.
The freedoms that we enjoy today.
Jenny dear! Don't forget my dress for the fashion show. We want to look my best now. Jenny, we started our book report. Here's the cover.
Yeah, now all we need is a beginning,
a middle,
and an end.
Jenny dear!
Hi, honey.
Are you feeling blue? What's wrong with being blue?
Well, where should I start?
If you're a teen dealing with stress, there's help. Visit the Will Rogers Institute website for a free booklet about teen stress and how you can de-stress your life.
Right.
And we'll start at 106 pounds. Unfortunately, Devin Edwards from Lorain not able to wrestle tonight. So we will bring you at 106 pounds on the championship mat. It is Sebastian Vidica from Black River. He's a state champion of 43-1, wrestling Eric Bartos out of Buckeye. And Vidica immediately gets the 2-point takedown. So I'm trying to see where they're keeping score at here, but
That would be the center.
yeah,
there.
but that's 0-0.
Oh. Yeah.
So,
Oh, boy.
yes. Thanks, Joe.
Oh, sorry. Made sense to me.
Yeah, me too. Until I looked up there. Vidica and Bartos. Bartos gets a 1-point escape. So it is. Oh, okay, they're going to keep it below there.
Oh,
it
we
is
have
2-1.
Over on mat 2. Boy, we had a quick pin here.
Yeah, we did, and that is.
Sorry,
Colin
we didn't catch
Carney.
any of that action, but
Colin Carney of Avon with a pin.
yeah.
But again, we're focusing in on Sebastian Vidica, who was a state champ wrestling Eric Bartos, who was a district qualifier. And Vidica has the leg, still 2-1 as we come down to 10 seconds to go in the first period. Vidica trying to get him over on his back. He is going to get 2 points there to go up 4-1 here at the end of the first period. Bartos trying to get an escape before the end of the period, unable to do so. And after one period, state champion Sebastian Vidica from Black River with a 4-1 lead over Eric Bartos at 106 pounds.
Let's swing over to mat 3, and we're going to take a look at a little bit of action right there.
All right, and on that one we have a couple of freshmen. Alex Reyes out of Amherst, 22-20 district qualifier, against Clay Todd, Keystone. He's a district qualifier as well, 13-25. Reyes is in the yellow uniform, and Clay Todd is in the gray and purple singlet. Reyes on top of that one, 2-1.
Jose.
Sebastian Vidica in his match is up 6-1. The match that we had around earlier, the state champion. And it looks like Reyes from Amherst still out in front halfway through the second period, 2-1. As he is trying to get some back points here on Clay Todd from Keystone. Todd, though, gets a reversal, Joe, and that's a 2-point reversal by Clay Todd and then a 1-point escape. So we're tied at 3, 45 seconds to go in the second period.
Sorry about that, Rob. Somebody almost knocked my tripod over.
Can't have that.
We got a packed house here. I mean,
I told you.
That's a lot of folks here.
Rule number 1, don't mess with Joe's tripod. Rule number 2, remember rule number 1.
Exactly.
And Reyes now again on top of Todd, 5-3, 15 seconds to go in the second period as the wrestling there is about to wind down. Vidica with a commanding 10-1 lead over Bartos at the end of the second period for the championship match at 106.
Yeah, they're winding down here on the the third place mat. So we're gonna go back over to the mat number 1.
Okay.
We're gonna pick up
again
third period
Sebastian
action
Vidica.
here.
Yep, Sebastian Vidica on top 10-1.
And he's working on a major decision.
Yep, as he tried to get Bartos on his back and get some more points.
Or even a tech fall. Oh, well, maybe a pin.
Maybe a pin. He's got it hooked in there pretty good. Vidica at 106, state champion for Black River in Division 3 last weekend at Columbus. On Eric Bartos 10-1 as we come halfway through the third period. He's going to get 3 back points. So now Vidica leading at 13-1. Sebastian Vidica trying to wrap up this match with Eric Bartos from Buckeye High School. And they're going to stop at a potentially dangerous situation there, and they'll bring him back to the center of the mat with Vidica on the top and Bartos on the bottom. 54.5 seconds to go in the match. We're live from Elyria High School. Rob Polinsky, Joe Bach here with you. The 34th annual Lorain County Wrestling All-Star match. And Vidica will be the only state champ that we get to see all day, and he was in the very first match of the day. A couple other wrestlers finished second in the state. We'll see another one of those 152 pounds. Mike Repko from Vermillion. He lost the state title match 3-2, Joe.
Oh.
He'll be wrestling tonight. 25 seconds to go in this match. Vidica up 13-1.
Yeah, he's the nephew of one of our maintenance, our night maintenance man at the high school.
Oh, okay. He had a heck of a story because he was very injured, had a hard time even, didn't know if he was going to be able to go this year, and about halfway through the season made a go of it and goes all the way to the state championship match. Again, Vidica wrapping up this match against Bartos. 2 seconds, one, and that'll do it. And Vidica is the winner over Bartos by a score of 15-1.
And over on this mat, we had the Amherst wrestler,
Reyes.
victorious.
Okay,
I believe
Alex
it was
Reyes over Clay Todd.
Yep.
Thank you.
I believe it was 7-3, but he was victorious.
All right, now we'll go to 113 pounds.
From Buckeye, Josh Newman from Columbia. Mat 3 will be Max Bork from Avon and Caleb Hopp from Lorain.
We've got two Lorain wrestlers, Caleb Topp at 113 and Brandon Bartlemy at 113. So we'll try to keep an eye on both of them, Joe, as two Lorain wrestlers at 113 pounds. But up first, Brandon Bartlemy, district qualifier, a sophomore at 30-12, going up against Nick Mayer, at a junior out of Avon Lake, another district qualifier, 32-7. So on paper, Joe, this should be a good match at 113. Caleb Kopp is the other Lorain wrestler, wrestling on the far mat, and he wrestles Max Bork of Avon. Want to thank Sean Bennett, Elyria Chronicle Telegram, before the match. He kind of set me straight with the program and how this worked, and he said, Rob, there's about a 50-50 shot that the kids that are written down there won't be wrestling. So thanks to Sean for pronunciations and kind of helping me through. And early on, it is Bartlemy getting a 2-point takedown, up 2-0, as he has control over Nick Mayer halfway through the first period. Bartlemy working on Mayer, trying to get him over on his back. Mayer expanding his base there, trying to get the escape. Bartlemy again trying to get him over on his back. Unable to do so as Mayer fights it off. 15 seconds to go in the first period.
Devon Edwards, please. Devon Edwards from Lorain. Please come back behind the announcer's table. Devon Edwards.
Bartlemy again with Nick Mayer. 5 seconds to go first period. Mayer on the bottom, Bartlemy working, and that is going to do it for the first period with Bartlemy out in front 2-0.
We'll take a quick peek over to mat 3.
Okay, Caleb Kopp is wrestling Max Bork from Avon. And that is the end of the first period there, with Bork from Avon out in front of Kopp 2-0.
Yeah, swing back to 1 here.
Okay. Minute 10 to go in the second period. Still 2-0 Bartlemy over Mayer. And Bartlemy still on top, trying to get Mayer over. Not a lot of action in this one at 113 pounds. He's got that right ankle, Joe, as he's trying to get him over on his back. But Mayer trying to fight and trying to get to his base, trying to get a 1-point escape.
Yeah, you were right with this one. It's a very close, well-wrestled match so far.
And there's Mayer with the 1-point escape, Joe. Makes it 2-1. So Nick Mayer gets the 1-point escape. Bartlemy trying to immediately get a takedown. But Mayer up to his feet, and they'll break away now. 35 seconds to go in the second period. Both wrestlers on their feet. Bartlemy of Lorain up 2-1 over Mayer of Avon Lake. Bartlemy in the blue singlet and Mayer in the maroon and gold for Avon Lake. 20 seconds to go, second period, as they wrestle towards the edge of the mat, but stay on. Shooting in is Bartlome trying to get a double leg. Bartlome almost has Mayer, and Mayer backing up off the mat, so he's out of bounds with 14 seconds to go in the second period.
Sneak peek over here. And
all right, 30 seconds to go, second period, and we still have Bork out in front of Caleb Kopp, 2-0. 2 wrestlers for Lorain at 113 pounds. That's pretty, that doesn't happen, I wouldn't think, where you have 2 wrestlers from the same school at the same weight class. They probably just did that to confuse us, Joe.
Yeah.
Kopp will come back to the center. Caleb Kopp, a sophomore from Lorain High School.
Son of former coach Billy Kopp.
Yep.
State champion.
We saw Caleb in the sectionals. That was at Lorain, the Division I sectionals, about 3 weeks ago. Bork on top of Kopp. 10 seconds to go in the period, 2-0. Caleb trying to sit out of it and get an escape, can't do so. Bork again gets him back to the mat, and that is going to do it for the second period with Bork still out in front, 2-0.
Let's swing over to mat 2.
Okay, and just to confuse me, you want to get that. That's Josh Newman out of Columbia, and he is wrestling Justin Montanero from Buckeye. The Columbia wrestler Newman is a freshman at 13-5. Montanero of Buckeye High School, 17-20. And it looks like
there's a lot of points in this one.
Exactly. And for the Columbia wrestler, it is Josh Newman. And they are at the end of that period. They lead 12-6.
And we're going to go back to 1 here. We're going to be doing this all night, Rob.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Joe. My rate just went up. Did I tell you what I need?
Oh, no.
Shooting in, it is Bartlome. Again, getting tangled up with Mayer. 3-1. Bartlome leads with 20 seconds to go in the match, Joe. Mayer needs a takedown to get a tie. Bartlome runs away from him. They're off the edge of the mat. 17 seconds to go, and they'll come to the center. So Mayer's going to have to get a takedown. He hasn't had one yet. Bartlome up 3-1. Both wrestlers on their feet. Bartlome just can't get caught here, Joe, in the final seconds.
Right.
Mayer's got to be aggressive. He dives in. Bartlome trying to stand up. Mayer
got the wide stance.
Yeah, Mayer, and now Bartlome counters. And Bartlome is in great shape with 3 seconds, and this is going to end 3-1 in favor of Bartlome from Lorain High School. So Brandon Bartlome with a win, 3-1.
Nice win for Brandon.
And for Caleb Kopp over on mat number, whatever that is.
3.
The far side, thank you. He will lose 4-0 at the end of his. His match just ended, Joe.
Tough match there.
So Kopp loses to Bork, 4-0.
Sure is a pleasure and an honor to have them here with us this evening. Great job.
And we'll head back to mat 2 here, and we'll catch the last 40 seconds or so of this match.
Right. Again, the wrestler from Columbia, that is Josh Newman on top of the young man from Buckeye. Newman up 17-8, shooting in. 30 seconds to go in the match. Joe just didn't want me to catch my breath there for 30 seconds. So he's trying to get him in the cradle. Again, Josh Newman, a freshman, wrestling a senior from Buckeye.
Pound weight class, just so everyone knows, the first 2 featured wrestlers, Armando Torres and Marcus Cruz, will be our highlight match of the evening. And we'll be wrestling just a little bit later. So at 120 pounds, we'll only be wrestling on mats 2 and 3. Mat 1 will be left open, and they will be wrestling in that a little bit later.
Did you know anything about that, Rob?
No.
I don't know if your folks at home are able to hear that.
Well,
but,
we'll tell them one of the featured matches tonight, Armando Torres, a senior out of Elyria, 41-8. State qualifier, going to wrestle Marcus Cruz, a senior, finished 7th in the state from Clearview at 45-8. But instead of them wrestling right now, they're going to have that go later, Joe. So let's find out who the other wrestlers are on these other mats.
And we'll start off on mat 2.
Mat 2, we are going to have.
All right, all Hall of Fame people, please be ready to be recognized here.
Let's wait and see what the PA announcer tells us, Joe.
Okay.
We're going to be introducing each and every one of you. I'll be calling out your name. At the conclusion of this match.
Hey, sports fans, high school wrestling is back with the excitement of Lorain High Wrestling. There's always a match to watch, so turn your channel to WLCS TV 20 and watch them all. Win, lose, or draw, our kids give their best. Lorain Schools Employees Credit Union supports our schools and our wrestling program at 4459 Oberlin Avenue in Lorain. Thanks to the Lorain Schools Employees Credit Union for sponsoring tonight's All-Star match. Over on mat number 3, we have Nick Onspaw of Wellington wrestling Aiden Wonder of Brookside. And I believe that is Christian Lowe of Amherst. And looks like he's wrestling Robbie Cobb of Oberlin, but not 100% sure.
Avon Lake, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. PA guy, he's not helping us, Joe.
I see that, yeah.
You know, would have been a thought we could have taken this weight class off if they're not going to tell us who's wrestling.
Yeah, there's a thought. do they list an Avon Lake kid there or no?
Zach Klima. So you think that might be Zach?
Yeah, I think there's an AL on his singlet and the lower. Yes, there's.
All right, we'll go with
AL. So
all right, so we're
let's
going to
go
say
with
that's
that.
Zach Klima against Christian Lowe. Lowe 31-10. Klima out of Avon Lake at 33-14. Klima was a district qualifier.
The writing on their singlets is almost as good as the numbers on the Vermilion basketball jerseys.
Yeah, there you go.
And I know you know what I'm talking about there.
I do.
Cannot read them.
Both wrestlers on their feet. No score. 40 seconds to go in the first period. This is 120 pounds. Klima in the dark singlet, and it is Lowe, Christian Lowe, in the yellow singlet. They bring him back to the center of the mat. 35 seconds to go first period. No score. And the feeling out process here of the first period. Low shooting in. Klima backs out of it. 15 seconds to go in the first period. Both wrestlers on their feet. And now Lowe trying to run around the side of Klima. Almost got a 2-point takedown, but Klima was able to escape from that, and that's going to do it for the first period. So that'll do the first period. Now bring him back to the second period. And we head over to the other mat, and we have Robbie Cobb, a freshman out of Oberlin, against Nick Anspaw, a junior out of Wellington, both district qualifiers. Anspaw is on top. He is the wrestler in maroon, wrestling Cobb out of Oberlin in the white, red, and blue. Under a minute to go, or in the second period, 5-0, the Wellington wrestler out in front. They'll bring him back to the center of the mat. Again, this is 120 pounds, our third weight class of the evening. Anspaw on top of Cobb. Cobb trying to get to his feet. Anspaw able to get him back to the mat. Still has the 5-0 advantage. 40 seconds to go in the second period. Good crowd here at Elyria. Joe, I know you mentioned that earlier, but there really is a good crowd.
It really is. It's good to see.
Yeah, Anspaw trying to get back points here on Cobb as he has him on his back with 20 seconds to go in the period. Cobb's able to get back to his base.
He's holding 3 right there.
And there it is, the 3 back points. Joe, you're right, makes it 8-0. Young man from Wellington at 120 pounds out in front of Cobb. Rolls him over to his back again, but this is going to be the end of the period.
He's got a count going.
Yep, that is the end of the period. They're going to give him another 2 points, so that means it's 10-0.
Hey, let's go back to 2. We got a dandy going here.
All right, 1-0. I'm not sure which wrestler is in front, but it is Lowe against Klima. Lowe shooting in. Klima rolls out of it off the side of the mat. You're right, Joe. This is heating up here with 8 seconds to go in the second period. We'll have to keep on this one for the remainder of it, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
Christian Lowe, Zach Klima. 5 seconds to go, second period. And that is going to do it for the second period. And we'll have the start of the third period. You know, one of the oddities of the All-Star, and I'm just realizing it, you know, when you watch wrestling, Joe, you're always used to the coaches sitting there and shouting instructions and everything else. And
doesn't happen here.
No, it doesn't happen here. And now they another thing that changes it, you put 1:30 on the clock. So instead of 2-minute periods, they're 1:30.
You got to understand, too, I think they added, do you know how much weight they added to each class?
I do not.
I know they gave them a little bit of leeway there. Yeah. And because for some of the wrestlers, they may not have wrestled for a few weeks.
Oh, sure. Exactly. And, yep, there's a 1-point escape for Klima. Gives him a 2-0 lead. So Klima, the Avon Lake wrestler, out in front of Lowe of Amherst, 2-0. And Lowe now needs a takedown. They go off the side of the mat. They'll bring him back to the center of the mat with a minute 16 to go in the match. Zach Klima out in front of Christian Lowe, 2-0. Klima, Avon Lake, Lowe out of Amherst.
And the match on mat 3 finished up with the Wellington wrestler victorious.
Thank you, sir.
Didn't get the final, but
Nick Anspaugh was up 10-0 after 2 periods as he defeated Robbie Cobb of Oberlin. 1 minute to go in the match. Both wrestlers on their feet again. A 2-0 advantage, and shooting in is Lowe, but Klima stays out of it. Lowe now, though, he has him by the ankle, Joe, getting close to a 2-point takedown, and there it is.
Got it.
He ties the match at 2 with 40 seconds to go in the match. Lowe kept working and finally gets the 2-point takedown. They're going to go off the side of the mat, and it's a tied match with 36 seconds to go in it. At 2-2, and let's see what they elect to do.
Just what we want in the all-star matches is overtime.
That's the last thing either one of these guys want, I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah. What?
Okay, just so everyone knows, we are going to be holding off the next weight class for just a few minutes while we introduce.
Lowe lets him up, and it gives him a 3-2 advantage. Klima up 3-2. Lowe now needs another takedown to win it. So Lowe let him up to get the 1-point escape, make it 3-2.
Wrestlers, just hold off warming up here at the 120-pound weight class.
And we're going to have a break in the action after this, so we'll take a break as they're going to have some announcements. We'll take a break during that. There's 10 seconds to go. They go off the side of the mat. They'll bring them back to the center. And again, at 120 pounds, it is Zach Klima of Avon Lake out in top, 3-2 over Christian Lowe of Amherst. Lowe trying to get in and get Klima. He's down by a point, 5 seconds to go. Desperate, trying to shoot in and get the takedown. I think he's going to run out of time. And they go out of bounds, 0.4 of a second left.
Great match.
Yeah, I don't think Lowe realizes that there's any time left on the match. But there is, and they're going to... Zach Klima gets the win 3-2. So Klima at 120 pounds wins it 3-2. And we're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll have wrestling at 126 pounds after this timeout. You're watching Lorain County All-Star Wrestling on WLCS TV 20, home of Lorain City Schools Television.
Sergeant Jason Nielsen served his country as an MP in Iraq.
I was in Iraq for 10 months before I was hit by that sniper.
He suffered a paralyzing injury, ending his military service. Paralyzed Veterans of America's National Service Officers are trained to help injured veterans get all the benefits they've earned.
She worked with my wife, took care of everything for me just so I could focus on just recovery and trying to get on with life.
To learn more, visit pva.org.
And welcome back as we get set for 126 pounds.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Bauer was one of the founding fathers of the Lorain County.
Tom Bauer. You know, Bauer and Tom are both here, and, you know, they both have something in common. They're both limping around with canes out there. They're both on a disabled list.
That's why you don't have a partner, or you have me tonight.
Well, no, Bob Schlembacher's the reason why I don't have a partner. When he messed up the sectionals, you know, it's Bob Schlembacher's fault that we're here alone, Joe. But you know, that's for another day. But thanks to Schlembacher, you and I are here working alone. But Tommy Bauer being honored here, along with all the other members of the Hall of Fame. Very nice to see this, Joe.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Tom was inducted into the State of Ohio Wrestling Officials Hall of Fame last week.
So very nice. He and Tomo shake hands over there. And again, a great crowd here at Elyria to check this out. And momentarily we'll have a 126-pound weight class. So right now they are saluting all the members of the Hall of Fame that are here.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We
Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break while they disperse the honorees here and get ready for the next set of wrestlers. So we'll be back right after these messages.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
At 126 pounds, Xavier Edwards wrestling LaShawn Dulabanks. Edwards, a junior out of Lorain, 23-5, and he was a state alternate, made it to the districts, 5th in districts, wrestling LaShawn Dulabanks, a senior out of Brookside, 29-13 at 126 pounds. 1:16 to go, first period, no score. Xavier Edwards in the blue, and in the white is Dulabanks out of Brookside. As they go to the edge of the mat. Xavier Edwards, very tall and skinny. Well, you know, at 126 pounds, he's taller than most, Joe.
Yes, he is.
Really tall, lean and lanky, and again, that's a great thing for a wrestler at that weight class, to be long and lean. Edwards trying to get Banks over to his back, cannot do so, and Dulabanks is going to get a 2-point takedown. So the young man from Brookside with a 2-0 lead over Xavier Edwards. Edwards trying to get to his feet, looking for a 1-point escape, cannot do so. They go off the edge of the mat. They'll bring him to the center. Dulabanks on top of Edwards, 2-0, 126 pounds. Edwards up, trying to get a 1-point escape. As he turns around now, he's trying to come over and get a 2-point reversal. He's going to have the escape here shortly, and there's going to be the reversal, and he gets Dulabanks to his back. What a move by
nice.
Xavier Edwards, as he has got him in a pinning combination over there, and that was a heck of a throw as he came from behind, got the 2-point reversal and a 3-point takedown, Joe, just like that. Xavier Edwards out in front 5-2, and moves like that is why he was 5th in the district in the state alternate.
Oh, yeah, you saw the leg strength there. He was just able to just manhandle him, just take him right to the mat.
5-2, Xavier Edwards with 18 seconds to go in the first period. This is 126 pounds, the featured match. Edwards trying to get Dulabanks to his back. Dulabanks trying to fight it here at the end of the period, down under 10 seconds to go in period number 1. Xavier Edwards trying to put Dulabanks to his back. Now here comes the count. He might get some points here at the end of the period. There's the end of the first period, and they're going to give him 2 more back points. 7-2, Xavier Edwards out in front of LaShawn Dulabanks.
Hey, we're going to take a peek at mat 3. I see some action going on over here.
All right, 1-0 second period. Seth Orcott of Amherst wrestling Chris Shakaleris out of Avon Lake. Amherst wrestler in green. No, that's not Avon Lake because that's purple and gold, so who knows?
Yeah, let's go back to 1.
And then we're started the second period, 7-2, Xavier Edwards out in front.
9-2 now.
9-2, thanks, Joe. 1:05 as he gets Dulabanks on his back. Again, Edwards trying to get the pin, trying to get him over on his back. Dulabanks took a 2-0 lead about halfway through the first period. But ever since then, there was that 5-point move by Edwards, and he has dominated this one ever since, Joe. Looks very good. As he's trying to get Dulabanks over to his back. Xavier Edwards on top. Dulabanks not doing a whole lot right now on the bottom. 40 seconds to go, second period. Edwards again trying to get him to his back. Dulabanks fighting it. He's attempting to put in a cradle. Edwards looking at the clock, 25 seconds to go, second period. And again, trying to break Dulabanks down. Got the left arm. Still 9-2, no points awarded here. Edwards trying to figure out exactly how he wants to attack him with under 10 seconds to go, second period. Second period winds down, and Xavier Edwards will finish the second period out in front 9-2. I think that wrestler over there on mat 1, Joe, is a young man from North Ridgeville. That's Will Keller. out of North Ridgeville wrestling.
On mat 3, you mean?
Yeah, Seth Orcott of Amherst. Sorry.
Okay, that's okay.
So we figured that one out.
We'll take a peek at this one real quick.
All right. So 6-2 is the score. And the North Ridgeville wrestler Keller shooting in, trying to get a takedown as he is wrestling Seth Orcott. Keller, 23-17, a sophomore. Orcott, a district qualifier at 17-20. He's a senior. And 2 points for the young man from North Ridgeville makes it 6-4. So he trails 6-4, 40 seconds to go. And Keller from North Ridgeville is going to either have to get him on his back, Joe, to get back points to win it, or let him up and get a couple of takedowns, 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, let's take a peek at 2 real quick here. We haven't had a chance to look at the action here.
On mat 2, Joe's, that one is 40 seconds to go in the second period. Young man from Keystone, Jagger Oka, wrestling Ian Mound of Black River. Mound, the Black River wrestler, on top, 7-2. He's a freshman at 29-14. Oka, the senior out of Keystone, at 28-16. Stop that for a potentially dangerous move.
And we'll go to 1.
All right. And Edwards is finishing off Dula Banks. It is Xavier Edwards from Lorain finishing off LaShawn Dula Banks out of Brookside. 8 seconds to go in the match. 13-2. Edwards out in front. Don't forget, Dula Banks this year, Joe, he was 29 wins, and Xavier Edwards has really done a good job here as he'll win this one with the final of 15-2.
Nice job.
So Xavier Edwards, he'll be back next year, the senior, and he'll have very high expectations, Joe, going into his senior year.
Tell you, Rob, I'm really looking forward to Lorain wrestling next year. As a matter of fact, I was telling some folks that wouldn't mind going to Cleveland State and Columbus maybe next year, because we've got some real promising underclassmen coming up through the ranks that placed really well.
Scholarship winners here, just prior to the next weight class.
All right, we want to let you know that Lorain Schools TV 20 is your multimedia outlet for all that's happening in Lorain. Visit the Lorain Schools TV 20 Facebook page for information, pictures, and a link to all our YouTube channel for on-demand viewing of all TV 20 games, concerts, and events. Like us for a chance to win great prizes. With Lorain High's Club TV 20, catch the best and most extensive coverage in Northeast Ohio. You can follow us on Twitter for scoring updates. We're also on Time Warner Cable Channel 20 in Lorain. Lorain Schools TV 20, it's the good news about our schools. They're having a scholarship presentations here in between the matches, but coming up at 132 pounds, Joe, we are not going to have a young man from Lorain at this weight class. The next Lorain wrestler will be at 138. It'll be George Colvin. But at 132 pounds, we'll have 3 more matches, and they will have that coming up momentarily.
All right, well, we'll take a quick break here, and we'll come back with some more wrestling action.
From Elyria Catholic, 23-10. Man 3, Brandon Bellman, Brookside, 25-22 against Josh Gabor, 13-13.
And we are looking now at Brandon Bellman out of Brookside against Josh Gabor out of Midview. This is 132 pounds. The senior Bellman out of Brookside, a district qualifier, 25-22. Gabor out of Midview, 13-13. 2-1 is the score. 50 seconds to go in the first period. As they wrestle off the edge of the mat, they're going to bring him back to the center. The other match is at 132 pounds. The featured match, Joey Bernowski out of Avon Lake against Max Kuchenreiter out of Avon. And on the other mat, it'll be Kyle Fowler of Buckeye High School wrestling and Mason Harsher out of Elyria Catholic.
And we're looking at the ladder match right now.
And we are tied at 3. Oh, I'm sorry, you moved on me.
Sorry.
And that is the Buckeye and EC match. No score, 50 seconds to go first period. Fowler out of Buckeye at 26-9. Harsher out of EC at 23-10. No score, neither wrestler with an advantage. As Fowler trying to get a 2-point takedown, but so far Harser is able to not let him do that, and they're going to go off the edge of the mat. They'll bring him back to the center with 32 seconds to go. First period, no score. This is 132 pounds. Shooting in is Harser from EC, trying to get the 2-point takedown. He will. Right on the edge of the mat, Joe. He gets that 2-point takedown on Fowler. So Harser, they'll go off the edge of the mat, leading 2-0 with 17 seconds to go first period. Harser on top. Fowler on the bottom. 10 seconds to go first period. Harser up 2-0. Harser with the legs trying to get, again, Fowler over, and can't do it at the end of the first period, and it's 2-0 Harser with the lead.
Well, they're switching on the championship match, but just take a peek at this one. This one's a real competitive one. 7-7 right now in the second period.
You're right. Bellman and Gabor. Bellman out of Brookside in the white and red, and Gabor from Midview in the blue and gray, tied at 7, 30 seconds to go second period. Each wrestler on their feet as they're trying to get an advantage. Shooting in is Bellman. Can't do so. Gabor cuts him off. .15 seconds to go in the second period, tied at 7. So that's one of the higher scoring matches we've seen here tonight, Joe. And Bellman's able, yes, he does get a 2-point takedown here in the waning seconds of the second period. He gets Gabor with a 2-point takedown, trying to get him to his back. Can't do so. That's the end of the period with Bellman out of Brookside out in front 9-7.
And now we're going to get the chance to go to the championship match, and I think we'll stay right here.
All right, no score, second period,
actually,
40 seconds to go. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong score. 3-0, thank you. It is Kuchenreiter out of Avon on top in the dark singlet. Joey Bernowski out of Avon Lake. Sorry, Bernowski and Avon Lake is on top of Kuchenreiter out of Avon with 20 seconds to go in the second period.
Yeah, he was in a down position, and he was able to get some back points. So that's where your 3 came from.
Yeah,
and he's got another count going too.
Yes, he does. It is Kuchenreiter, a district qualifier at 42-9, wrestling the young man from Avon Lake, Bernowski, who was a state qualifier. And that's going to be it for the second period. 3 more points. So the young man from Avon Lake, the state qualifier, Bernowski, a sophomore, 36-7, out in front of Kuchenreiter, the junior out of Avon, 42-9 this year, 6-0. Bernowski will take the top position. Kuchenreiter on the bottom. Kuchenreiter trying to get he gets the escape. There's his first point of the match. And now we'll see if he can get a 2-point takedown. And right away, Bernowski going right at him, Joe. Very aggressive, and they go off the side of the mat. 1:21 to go in this match, third period. 6-1, Bernowski, state qualifier, Avon Lake, out in front of Kuchenreiter from Avon High School. Neither wrestler getting any points right now. With a bit of a stalemate. Kuchenreiter and Bernowski tied up with 1 minute to go. Kuchenreiter, as they battle again.
Yeah, take a peek at match 3 here. It ended at it's 12-11. So we just want to see who wins this one. It is
the young man out of Brookside, and that is Brandon Bellman winning it 12-11.
Okay, we'll go back to 1 here.
Wrestlers on their feet, 45 seconds to go in the match. Bernowski, Avon Lake, state qualifier, aggressive, shooting in, getting the left leg, trying to get a takedown. Kuchenreiter, though, was able to counter. Neither wrestler with an advantage, still 6-1. Bernowski with a lead, under 30 seconds to wrestle in this match. And we're going to get a 2-point takedown for Bernowski, so he'll go up 8-1. 20 seconds to go, and he is going to win. The state qualifier, Joe, is going to win at 132 pounds. And over on mat number 2, they are working on Mason Harser, who, the young man from EC, was hurt in his match. So they look at him. 3 seconds, 2, 1, and Bernowski is going to win at 132 pounds. The sophomore wins at 8-1. And the win will be awarded to Kyle Fowler out of Buckeye because Harser is hurt and unable to continue. And that one will finish 3-2 with 57 seconds to go in the match. And hopefully Mason Harser, the senior out of Elyria Catholic, who went 23-10 in a district qualifier, hopefully he's all right.
Well, that being said, Rob, while they're tending to him, we're going to take another short break, and we'll be back with which weight class? I see we have a Lorain wrestler, it looks like.
We'll go up to 138-pound weight class. George Colvin, he'll be featured coming up next. You're watching Lorain County High School All-Star Wrestling on WLCS TV 20, home of Lorain City Schools Television. George Colvin, senior out of Lorain, 22-17 in the dark uniform. He is wrestling Brent Ningard out of North Ridgeville. Ningard, 19-17. Both these wrestlers are seniors. This is over on mat number 3. No score, 1:05 to go in the first period. Colvin and Ningard both on their feet. They get tied up here in the center of the mat. Colvin shooting in as they go off to the edge, trying to bring Ningard back, and close to getting a 2-point takedown. There it is. So Colvin gets the first 2 points of the match, leads 2-0, and Ningard with a 1-point escape makes it 2-1. Both wrestlers on their feet. 45 seconds to go, first period, 138 pounds. And Colvin close to getting a 2-point takedown, but they went off the edge of the mat. They'll bring him back to the center with 36 seconds to go, first period. Both on their feet. Ningard and Colvin. Ningard in the blue and gold of North Ridgeville, and Colvin in the dark blue of Lorain. A lock up, center of the mat. 15 seconds to go, first period. Both wrestlers on their feet. Neither one gaining an advantage right now. They'll back away now with 5 seconds to go in the first period. And the first period will end with Colvin out in front by a score of 2-1.
Looks like we had an injury on.
Yeah, on mat number one, we have a wrestler from Keystone, Logan Steiner, who was a state alternate at 36-6, wrestling Mike Dolan out of Elyria, but they're going to get back to action there, Joe. So we'll stay on that. Yeah, we're tied at 2 in the first period, 45 seconds. This is the featured match at 138 here in the center. Again, Steiner 36-8, Dolan 20-6. Dolan from Elyria High School, Steiner out of Keystone. And the Keystone wrestler in the purple, and the Elyria wrestler in the red and black. Steiner with that right ankle, trying to get Dolan down. Dolan's able to break away and get a 1-point escape. Dolan takes a 3-2 lead, end of the first period. Both wrestlers on their feet, and that'll do it for the first period. And we'll go back to the George Colvin match. That's back underway, second period. 1:03 to go in the second period. We're tied at 2.
You guys would like a registration for the dodgeball tournament? It's going to be at the Sky Zone on March 15th.
Tied at 2. Both wrestlers on their feet. Colvin had a takedown. Ningard has 2 escapes.
And they're going to be hosting it. It should be a pretty exciting event. I know Brexville's bringing a team. I think Elyria is bringing a team. So if you have a team that you'd like to bring, come
42 seconds to go, second period. Still tied at 2. Colvin shooting in. Ningard's able to back out of it. Colvin on his feet, trying to measure up Ningard. Under 30 seconds to go, second period. Colvin shooting in both legs, but I think they're going to go off the edge of the mat. They do. They're both out of bounds. They'll bring them back to the center of the mat with 17 seconds to go. Second period tied at 2. It is Brent Ningard out of North Ridgeville, George Colvin, Lorain. 8 seconds to go, second period. Tied at 2. So they're at the center of the mat. Ningard and Colvin are going to end the second period tied at 2.
All right, let's take a peek at mat number 2 here real quick.
All right, and over there on mat 2, we have Adam Koresh out of Avon against Steve Horvath of Brookside. 7-4 the score with 1:20 to go in the match. And a 1-point escape makes it 8-4. So Koresh out of Avon with the lead, 21-11 on the year. Horvath from Brookside at 30-14. 1 minute to go in the match, 8-4. Young man from Avon with the lead. Avon in the gold singlet. 2-point takedown will make it 10-4. And the young man out of Brookside, Horvath, in the red and white. Koresh out in front, 10-4 as they go off the edge of the mat with 48 seconds to go. Colvin match under a minute to go, tied at 2.
Head back over there right now.
All right, that was kind of a hint. There you go, Joe. You're very good. And we're tied at 2 with 45 seconds to go. And the match featuring George Colvin of Lorain. Colvin on the bottom, Ningard on top. Colvin needs a 1-point escape to take a 3-2 lead. Ningard trying to get Colvin onto his back to get back points at the end of the third period. Colvin getting to his feet, very close to the escape, Joe. Ningard hanging on to that.
He's got the leg.
Yeah, the left leg. But Colvin is close to getting an escape with 20 seconds to go in the match. Tied at 2, third period as we wind down here. And they're going to say it's a stalemate situation. Go back to the center of the mat with 14 seconds to go, tied at 2. Koresh still out in front of his match, 10-5 as that one winds down.
It might have our first overtime match of the evening.
Yeah. Colvin and Ningard, 10 seconds to go, tied at 2. Colvin trying to get, there's the escape for Colvin. Colvin gets the 1-point escape, Joe, with 3 seconds, and that is going to do it. He'll get the 1-point escape and the win. Colvin with an escape in the final seconds wins it 3-2. And in the featured match, Steiner and Dolan are under 30 seconds to go. 4-3 is the score. Steiner on Keystone out in front. So Dolan needs a last-minute reversal here to get the win. Steiner hanging on, or Dolan can get a 1-point escape to tie it.
It was really a good year in Lorain County wrestling as we're introducing some of the wrestlers. Yep. We hear these scores and very impressive win-loss ratios.
For sure. Under 10 seconds, and that is going to do it for the match. Steiner gets the win 4-3 at 138. And at 145 pounds, when we move up to the next group, it looks like Raekwon Timpton will not be wrestling. He's an alternate, I believe. We have everybody wrestling at 145, so I don't think we're going to see Raekwon. Will look. Nope, he is not out there. The alternate from Lorain, not at 145 pounds, Joe. So John Eschador on mat 1, 32-11 against Bryce Williams out of Amherst. Mat 2, we will have Nick Jacobucci out of Columbia against Artie Clark out of Buckeye. And on mat 3, Caleb Arnold out of Elyria against Anthony Chambers of Brookside. And Joe says we'll start on the championship mat with Eschador out of Wellington and Bryce Williams Amherst. Eschador in the maroon, Williams in the gold. 1:10 to go first period, no score. They go off the side of the mat, they'll bring them back to the center.
I was getting a bit dizzy there, Robbie. We're going around and around in circles there.
I'm just following your lead. You've had me going around in circles for quite a while. Eschador and Bryce Williams, under a minute to go first period. Again, Eschador, a sophomore out of Wellington, district qualifier, 32-11. Bryce Williams, a senior at Amherst with an 18-6 mark this year. 145 pounds, no score, halfway through the first period. Neither wrestler with an advantage as they lock up. And now a 2-point takedown for Bryce Williams. Tell you what, now I know why Tomo can't sit in these bleachers all night long.
Yeah, they are very uncomfortable.
Williams and Eschador, 2-0. 20 seconds to go in the match. First period, I should say. They haven't put the points on the board yet, but we saw Williams get awarded 2 points. Again, Eschador now trying to bridge, come up, get an escape or possibly a reversal. Trying to bridge out of that with 3 seconds. I think he's going to run out of time here in the period. And Williams on top is going to get 3 more back points, Joe, and he leads at 5-0 at the end of the first period.
Take a quick look at mat number 2.
And on mat 2, that's mat 3.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. Caleb Arnold against Anthony Chambers. Arnold out of Elyria. Chambers from Brookside. Arnold 22-12, a senior. Anthony Chambers, a sophomore out of Brookside at 13-11. 2-0 the score. Young man from Elyria, Caleb Arnold, with the lead. And there's 1 minute to go in the second period there. Arnold in the red and black, and it is Chambers in the red and white for Brookside. Arnold trying to get Chambers to his back, has him there, trying to get some back points here, Joe. Is now able to roll out of it and get back to his base is Chambers. But Arnold will get some back points, I believe, and they'll probably award that here a little bit later. 40 seconds to go, second period.
Thought he might have had a 2, but
yeah, maybe not.
Maybe not.
And again, Arnold working, trying to get some points here against Anthony Chambers. Arnold wrestling for Eric Burnett.
And now he's got a count going.
Yep, he does. And he's got Chambers in trouble on his back.
Yeah,
Arnold
he's
again.
holding at least 2.
Gets him to his back with 15 seconds to go in the second period. Out in front, 2-0 so far. Arnold at 145 pounds for Elyria High School. 5 seconds to go, second period. As they are at the edge of the mat, and they're going to get 2 more points, makes it 4-0, and that'll do it for the second period.
All right, let's bounce over to mat 2.
All right, thank you, sir. It is Nick Jacobucci out of Columbia wrestling Artie Clark from Buckeye. 3-0 our score as we are under 10 seconds to go in the second period. Jacobucci 30-17, Clark 23-19, both district qualifiers. That ends the second period.
And we're going to go back to 1.
And on mat number 1, 8-1 is the score. And it is Williams over Eschador. Williams and Eschador on his back in trouble. Williams trying to get the pin. Still a minute to go in the third period. Eschador trying to bridge and get out of it. But Williams, again, looking for the pinning combination. He has dominated Eschador here with 55 seconds to go in the match. Out in front, 8-1. And Williams will get 3 more points. He leads at 11-1 as Bryce Williams, the senior out of Amherst, having a fine match here against Eschador, just a sophomore from Wellington. Of course, Williams wrestling for Brian Caesar, the fine wrestler in his day at Amherst. Now the head coach over there. 25 seconds to go, second period, 11-1. Williams with the lead. As this match winds down under 20 seconds to go. Eschador trying to get an escape, still working. Just he was been dominated here tonight by Bryce Williams. 5 seconds to go in the match. Both wrestlers on their feet, but Williams in control. And we're going to get no points awarded, and that final goes to Bryce Williams. He wins it 11-2.
And we got mat 2. Got about 22 seconds left.
All right, 5-0. The match, Jacobucci for Columbia in the green, and for Buckeye, that young man Clark, the sophomore, in the brown and orange.
Elyria won on the
far
third
mat. Thank you. So that was Caleb Arnold winning for Elyria High. Jacobucci and Clark, under 10 seconds to go. 5-0 is the score. And a 2-point takedown for the young man out of Buckeye to end the scoring. So he's going to win it by a score of 7-0, and that is Artie Clark getting the win over Jakabuki. So, Joe, we are going to move ahead. We're about halfway through the program here, and we are going to move up to 152 pounds, where I believe we'll have a wrestler from Lorain. But first, we're going to take a timeout. We'll take a timeout. We'll have that wrestling match at 152 pounds. Aaron Huff from Lorain, he comes up next. You're watching High School All-Star Wrestling on WLCS TV 20, home of Lorain City Schools Television.
Freedom to think for yourself.
To disagree with the government.
Freedom to be equal.
To be different.
Freedom to raise a family.
To marry the man I love.
The freedom to worship the God of my choice.
To live with dignity.
The freedom to be me.
To be whatever I want to be.
Defending freedom for over 200 years.
Freestyle runner-up, this couple with a countless open championships throughout his youth career garnered the experience and mat time exceptional for high school and collegiate careers. 1992 was Nick's senior year in high school, and he spearheaded the highest placing team in Buckeye history. Nick finished the year as an undefeated OHSAA state champion and led the team to a second place finish at the state tournament. Nick continued his wrestling career at The Ohio State University, where he lettered 4 times. The highlight of his college career was becoming an All-American 1996. That year, he was a 3-way tie for the most pins on the team with 33. Nick was also team captain 2 years in a row while attending Ohio State University. Also in 1996, Nick placed 3rd at the U.S. Olympic trials, and the top 3 are considered a part of the United States Olympic team. After graduating OSU, Nick went on to compete in mixed martial arts outside of the United States, mainly fighting in the Middle East during 1998 as a part of his MMA tenure. He was ranked 19th in the world. He and his lovely wife Amy currently reside in Medina with the Buckeye School District, along with his daughters Amaya and Ava. He is now the color commentator for the Roctagon MMA, which is broadcast on cable television throughout the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Fame inductee, Mr. Nick Nutter. Congratulations, Nick. Next up, Hall of Fame inductee, Mr. Ryan Myers. And Coach John Sedlak will be the presenter. Right out there, center of the mat. You know where that's at. You've been there before. Ryan Myers was an exceptional athlete, a coach's dream. After being injured in junior high in wrestling, Ryan did not wrestle his freshman year. But as a senior, he was a highly celebrated football player who was first team All-Ohio and a Golden Helmet Award winner on Wellington's 10-0 football team. Ryan had one more choice, to sit back and enjoy it or to wrestle. Ryan chose wrestling. At 215 pounds, he became Wellington's 6th state champion. He went 33-3 with 13 falls. Ryan joined teammates Dave Charles and Mark Jameson and led the team to the 10th place state finish. 1997-98, he also won the Division III Medina tournament and placed 3rd in the state duels. After graduation, Ryan's athletic career continued. He played football for the University of Akron and earned a full scholarship. After playing in the NFL Europe team, Ryan earned an active roster spot in 2005-2006 with the New York Jets. My wrestling career had a huge impact on me becoming the best football player I could be. Tackling a ball carrier is no different than shooting a double leg takedown. Wrestling helped me with my balance, agility, but probably the most important thing I learned was the importance of leverage. Ryan has been a successful financial advisor, running his own business through Wells Fargo, Crocker Park. He resides in Cleveland. He would like to thank all of his coaches along the way and the city of Wellington for being so supportive throughout his entire athletic career. My coaches of both football and wrestling were great mentors who taught me what life was all about and to go beyond playing sports. I carry that with me to this day. Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Famer Ryan Myers. Next up, Brian Barnos and Tim Maxworthy. Would you please go out? You're the presenter here also. Brian Barnos became the wrestler who marked a turning point in the Medina Buckeye program. Before his tenure at Buckeye, there were only 2 wrestlers who ever placed in the state tournament, and they had never been a multiple place winner. The 1985 was a historic season for Brian at Medina Buckeye High School. In his senior year, Brian climbed to the top of the OHSAA state tournament, which was personal and a school milestone. This marked the first time a wrestler from Medina Buckeye had won the OHSAA state tournament. This achievement forever changed the landscape and mentality of wrestling program at Buckeye. Brian capped his career with 108 wins, becoming the first wrestler to accomplish this task. Since 1985, Buckeye has seen 500 state champions, 20 state placers, 29 state qualifiers, 19 wrestlers gaining 100 or more wins. After graduation, Brian attended the United States Military Academy in West Point, New York, where he was a 4-year varsity wrestler for Army. He had a successful collegiate wrestling career, many Ivy League schools, and perennial East Coast powerhouse program. Brian is currently Director of Operations over multiple manufacturing sites in the Cleveland area. He lives in the Buckeye Local School District and has been a part of the youth wrestling program for several years. He has 2 school-age children. His son Eric is currently a freshman at Buckeye, the starting 106-pounder, which he's very proud of. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brian Barnos. Skip Fair, Hall of Fame inductee. Mr. Frank Jean will be presenting this. Skip Fair has had 47 awesome years involved in wrestling. He was an exceptional wrestler in high school and college and has continued an incredible job of coaching. Skip wrestled for Valley Forge High School where he placed 4th in the state. His performance helped his team win the 1972 state championship. Following high school, Fair earned 2 Division III All-American honors for Ashland, placing 2nd in 75 and 5th in 76. After graduation with a Bachelor of Science degree in education, Skip began an outstanding coaching career. 1976, he began coaching at Franklin Junior High in Elyria. 78. Fair moved to Elyria West where he worked as a head and assistant coach. While at West, he coached West's first state qualifier. 1985, Skip moved to Elyria High School where he worked as an assistant coach with Frank Jean. Skip helped develop one of the state's top wrestling programs. Several top wrestlers he has helped train. 1990, Skip became head coach at Elyria High School, where he continued on with the Elyria tremendous tradition. As head coach, he took Marvin Major Chris Potterford to the state championship. 1993, starting in 1990, Skip worked as assistant coach at Lakewood State High School. There, Fair worked heavily with the traveling green team. And he had special memory was coaching Nick Nemeth at a state tournament. 2003, assistant coach at Elyria High School. Skip returned to Elyria High coaching with Eric Burnett. One special thrill he experienced was working with Andrew Perez and working with Steve and Dan Mitchell at their youth level and following them through his high school years. Presently, Skip is now coaching at North Ridgeville, where he lives and where his grandson wrestles in the youth program. Skip lives in North Ridgeville with his wife Donna. Skip Fair has earned the respect of his coaches, coaching peers, and the wrestlers he had developed, being inducted in the Lorain County Wrestling Coaching Hall Hall of Fame. Well earned, Skip Fair. Roberto Cobos, Tom Murphy, president, will be presenting this. Tom Murphy is president of the LCWOA, and Bob Cobos is an asset to the sport of wrestling in Lorain County. Having wrestled at North Ridgeville High School, Bob was coached by two coaches currently in the Ohio High School Coaches Hall of Fame, Dick Bliss and Mr. John Bonacci. Bob is someone who area coaches, tournament directors, and bidding programs count on for support, monetary donations. Bob is always available to lend a hand whenever needed. The Avon Lake KFC tournament is the county's oldest, and Bob is behind the scenes for 34 years. Some of his recent contributions have been to the LCWCOA, Elyria Friends of Wrestling, Firelands High School Booster Club, St. Edward Knights at the Races, WEOL High School Wrestling Radio, and Admiral King Lorain Southview and Midview Booster Clubs. When I think of Bob Cobos, I think the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson: nothing great is ever achieved without enthusiasm. That's from Gene Kleinholz, friend and former teammate of Bob. Bob and his wife Lynn make their home in Avon Lake. Bob is a successful business, owning Cobos Insurance in Elyria Township. They have 3 beautiful daughters and 1 son, John, who wrestles at John Carroll University. Ladies and gentlemen, Roberto Cobos. Congratulations, Roberto. Last but not least, Hall of Fame inductee, Vince Matucci. And Tom Bauer, Hall of Fame official, will be presenting this. Vince Matucci was a 128-pound state champion on the 1951 Cleveland West High team that produced a state record 6 individual state champions, a record that stood for 58 years. A year after winning a state title for Cleveland West, Matucci's college wrestling career was cut short with a broken shoulder. He later became one of the state's finest wrestling officials, and the Ohio High School Athletic Association made him the state's official rules interpreter for the position he held for 40 years. All told, Vince has been involved in 60 state tournaments as a wrestler, official, and rules interpreter. Vince is a member of both the Ohio Wrestling Hall of Fame and the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. He was given the National Lifetime Service of Wrestling Award, an award that is credited to coaches, officials, or contributors who have given a lifetime of service to the sport. Vince Matucci is an artist of considerable reputation. He has been the cover artist of the Cleveland Plain Dealer since 1955. In 1972, he held his first successful one-man art show in Florence, Italy, and his all-sports art show in 1973 in Cleveland. Now retired from the Plain Dealer, he has also done extensive artwork for the Ohio High School Athletic Association. He designed the OHSAA and state wrestling logos. He said the wrestling logo was based on sketches he did in Florence, Italy. The picture of the awards being given to champions tonight are one of a series of 13 wrestling action prints by this very talented artist. The response to the prints by the participants and officials from the United States and foreign countries has been absolutely overwhelming. The entire Lorain County wrestling family would like to one more time thank Vince for his generous donation of the world-renowned wrestling posters. Vince, please keep that special place in your heart for Lorain County wrestling, because you can be sure we will always have a special place for you. That's from Mr. Tom Bauer. Ladies and gentlemen, Vince Matucci. How about a big round of applause for all our Hall of Fame inductees tonight? Unbelievable. Great group. Awesome group.
And we hope you enjoyed the presentation of the 2014 Hall of Fame inductees: Nick Nutter, Ryan Myers, Ryan Bartos, Skip Fair, Roberto Cobos, and Vince Matucci. As we get set for action at 152 pounds, we believe we'll have Aaron Huff here, but again, they're letting the Hall of Famers and they're having their pictures taken as the 6 new members will join the rest of the Hall of Famers now here in 2014. And with those 6, that will now, Joe, give the Hall of Fame 97 members. They had 91 coming into tonight, now 97 members. And a lot of them are here and represented tonight here at Elyria High School.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break while they finish up the pictures and the little ceremony here.
And we'll be back for wrestling at 152 pounds. And we'll see Aaron Huff, a freshman out of Lorain, after this timeout.
Visual, and you have the lead on the right. You have the lead on the right. Sights on. Left 9 now. Nothing else. You got the airspeed on me. Visual. Oh, there you are. Darn, I was hoping you wouldn't see me. Yeah, it's my turn to gun track. Let's do that one again. Okay?
Just in case you didn't catch the number the first time.
Aaron Huff at 152 pounds immediately with a 2-point takedown out in front, 2-0, 8 seconds into the match. Aaron Huff, a freshman out of Lorain, outstanding season at 28-10. And he is wrestling. And on top, and it's Ian Standen, a senior out of Brookside, district qualifier, 36-14. And on mat 1 at 152 pounds is the state runner-up, Mike Repko, 29-2. We talked about him earlier, Joe. And he is here wrestling in purple. He is wrestling Colin Ripley, a senior out of North Ridgeville, 31-10. So this is a very good weight class here. And just the 2 going on here at this weight class at 152 right now. And again, Repko out in front 2-0, 45 seconds to go in the first period. Repko from Vermilion in the purple, and a 1-point escape for Riley out of North Ridgeville makes it 2-1. Repko lost the state championship match last weekend in Columbus 3-2. And he was hurt for most of this year, Joe. A great story. Didn't even know if he'd be able to wrestle this year. And late in January decided, to give it a shot. And was able to not only do that, but he goes all the way to make it to the state championship match. How crazy is that? 10 seconds to go first period. He leads 2-1. Repko in the center in purple. Shooting in is Riley out of North Ridgeville. No points. Repko shoots in. Riley got out of the way, and that'll do it for the first period, 2-1.
We're going to swing over to 2.
Okay, and it is again Huff, the freshman out of Lorain, out in front 4-1 with 25 seconds to go first period. Huff on top 4-1 as he leads Ian Standen out of Brookside High School. These are the only 2 matches going on at 152 pounds. 10 seconds to go first period. Huff trying to get Standen over. Can't do so. Still leads 4-1. On top, 2 seconds, 1, and that will do it for the first period. Aaron Huff out of Lorain out in front 4-1.
Swing back to the championship match.
Okay. Minute 10 to go second period. They go off the mat. They'll go to the center of mat number 1. And they'll come back to the center. 2-1, Repko leading. Repko on the bottom, Riley on top. And they're set to wrestle. Riley trailing at 2-1. Colin Riley, senior out of North Ridgeville. Both these guys in the West Shore Conference. So I'm sure they're very, very familiar with one another. Repko trying to spin around and get the 2-point takedown. Riley trying to counter him, does so. And now Riley is trying to get Repko onto his back. Riley down 2-1. Late
almost had him there.
Second period, yeah, almost had Repko in trouble there, Joe. But Repko showed you why he's second in the state, because he's able to avoid that takedown, get out of trouble when it looked like Riley had him in a, going to get some points, unable to do so.
Here we're going to swing back over to our Lorain wrestler.
50-50, get your tickets out.
And for Lorain, the Huff leading 6-1 with 25 seconds to go in the second period. Aaron Huff, the freshman, dominating this match. Up 6-1. 10 seconds to go.
9-4-1-8-5-3.
Did we win, Joe?
No.
8-5-3.
And 2 seconds, 1. Huff at the end of the second period up 6-1. So they'll come back to the center of the mat to begin the third period. Aaron Huff out in front at 152 pounds by a score of 6-1.
A bright future for Huff, only a freshman.
No doubt. Huff will be on top. And standing on the bottom. And they start the third period.
9-4-1-8-5-3.
Huff trying to immediately get Standen to his back. Can't do so. Standen will try to get an escape here. And Standen trying to roll through and get a reversal, but he's very close to doing so. But Huff's able to, nope.
Nope.
That is a 2-point reversal. He does get it, makes it 6-3. I thought maybe Huff was going to be able to stay out of that, but was unable to do so.
9-4-1-8-5-3.
Around the right leg is Standen, but on his base, on his feet, Aaron Huff. He still leads 6-3. So Standen still with a lot of work to do with only 40 seconds to go in the match. Repko out in front 4-2 of his match. And Standen trying to get Huff over onto his back. He's got to get back points with just 30 seconds to go. Leading 6-3, and Huff trying to get a reversal. Unable to do so. Standen still in control, but he trails the match 6-3. 15 seconds to go in the match. Yeah, you can tell these guys get tired pretty quickly, Joe, but it doesn't take long after you haven't wrestled in a couple weeks to, you're just not going to be in that shape that you were in just a few short weeks ago. And that is going to do it for this match. Huff wins it 6-3.
Hey, let's head back to the championship match. We got a dandy here.
Yeah, 4-3 with just 18 seconds to go. Repko out in front of Riley. 4-3, wrestlers both on their feet. And Riley trying to get the 2-point takedown. They go off the side of the mat, and that is going to do it for that match.
Good showing.
Yep. And it is Repko with a 4-3 win. So they're going to move to 160 pounds. And in this weight class, we don't have anybody from Lorain, Joe.
State alternate from Amherst, 38-8. Derek Foster from Clearview, 38-10. District qualifier, Mat 2. Taylor Workman from Elyria, 31-18. And he's with Travis Leopold from Avon, 39-11, just a junior. Mat 3, Josh Kitko.
And we're ready for Mat 1. We've got Mike Wersch out of Amherst, a state alternate out of Amherst. He's in the green and gold, 38-8. Derek Foster, a senior out of Clearview, district qualifier, 38-10 at 160 pounds. And Joe, at this weight class, you know, obviously you got size and you've got speed. You also have a lot of power at 160 pounds. These guys can still really move.
Yeah, this is one of the more interesting weight classes because you combine your finesse with some power.
You got it. Both
this is a backyard brawl. Here you have Amherst and Clearview.
Yep. At 160 pounds, Wersch on the bottom. It'll be Derek Foster on top. Out front, 2-0. Foster with the early lead, 2-0.
9-4-1-8-5-3.
And there's a 1-point escape for Wersch, makes it 2-1. Derek Foster shooting in, double leg, but unable to get the takedown so far. Wersch over to the side of the mat. Do they go out of bounds? They do. Go out of bounds. Derek Foster had a double leg, Joe, but he couldn't keep him in bounds. So they'll come back to the center of the mat.
9-4-1-6-8-1. 6-8.
Still didn't win. They redrew the 50-50.
Shooting in is Derek Foster on Wersch. 30 seconds to go, first period. Foster out in front, 2-0. In mat number 1 here at Elyria High School. 160 pounds. Foster unable to get the points. Up 2-0 with 10 seconds to go in the first period.
Okay, great. Avon, coach.
Derek Foster
Congratulations.
again with Wersch. And that is the end of the first period. 2-0 Foster out in front.
Let's take a peek at mat number 2.
Okay, a minute and a half to go. Start of the second period. It is a young man from Avon, Travis Leopold, against Taylor Workman out of Elyria. Workman, a senior, 31-18. District qualifier, Leopold, Avon, 39-11. Another district qualifier, he's a junior. 4-3 is the score. Start of the second period, both wrestlers on their feet. Leopold in the gold, Workman in the red and black here at Elyria. Both wrestlers on their feet as they battle for position. Under a minute to go, second period. Neither wrestler now shooting in as Workman. Or I'm sorry, Leopold shooting in on Workman, grabs the right ankle. Workman with a nice counter move, Joe, and close to getting a 2-point takedown. Neither wrestler with an advantage, and Leopold caught him and got the 2-point takedown to lead 6-3. There's a 1-point escape, makes it 6-4 with 30 seconds to go, second period. So Leopold from Avon out in front, 6-4 over Taylor Workman of Elyria.
20 seconds left here in the second.
20 seconds to go in the second period. Workman and Leopold, 10 seconds to go, second period, 6-4. Leopold with the lead. And that second period is going to end 6-4.
Let's take a peek at mat number 3.
Okay, and over there, Joe, we have Josh Kitko out of Wellington. And the young man from Wellington out in front and has his man in trouble on his back. Josh Kitko trying to get a pin here at the end of the second period at 160 pounds. I believe he is wrestling Ben Oakletree out of Keystone. Again, sometimes they change the wrestlers here and you have some alternates, but I believe that's Oakletree. But right now, Josh Kitko, junior out of Wellington at 28-16. Very close to getting the pin. 12 seconds to go in the second period. Kitko trying to lock it in and get the pin, but he can't do so. And the second period will end with no pin, but 3 back points, so Kitko leads at 10-1.
And we're gonna wrap up the championship match. We got a good one going here.
Yep.
4-2, Amherst.
Okay, the young man from Amherst, Mike Wirsch, with the lead over Derek Foster of Clearview. 4-2, as Joe just told you, with 40 seconds to go. Both wrestlers on their feet. Foster needs to take down the tie. They lock up at the center of the mat. 30 seconds to go in the match. 160-pound weight class. Third period. Foster took the 2-0 lead, but Mike Wirsch of Amherst has scored 4 straight points to go up 4-2. It looks like Foster might run out of time here. He's got to hurry up. Less than 15 seconds to go.
This is where the coaches on the side would be yelling, short time.
Right, and you're right, you don't have the coaches here. Foster shooting in, Wirsch backs away. 2 seconds, 1, and that'll do it. So getting the win is Wirsch at 160 pounds, 4-2 over Foster of Clearview.
And let's go to mat 2. This one's a close one, 6-4.
All right, and 45 seconds to go in the match. Workman of Elyria on top, but he trails in the match 6-4 as he is trying to roll Travis Leopold over to get back points. Leopold on the bottom. It looks like he might be getting a 1-point escape, close to it. Unable to do so yet. And they go out of bounds up the center of the mat. They'll come back.
Are they going to give it to him?
And they are going to give him the 1-point escape. Thanks, Joe. Makes it 7-4. Just 26 seconds to go. So Workman will need a takedown and then back points to win this one. Down by 3. They go off the side of the mat. And now they'll bring him back in with just 17 seconds to go. Workman's running out of time here, Joe, with 14 seconds to go. and they'll come back to the center of the mat. Workman and Leopold. Leopold out of Avon, Workman out of Elyria. 7 seconds to go. And this one's going to end 7-4 as Leopold is going to get the win over the wrestler from Elyria High School, 7-4. 4 seconds to go in the match on mat number 3. And it's the young man from Wellington, Josh Kitko, with the win, Joe, as he is going to win it 12-3 as he defeats Ochiltree out of Keystone. So we're going to move it up to 170 pounds. And before we do that, we want to ask you, are you employed by or retired from Lorain City Schools? The answer to that question is yes, then pay close attention to the following. Hey, wrestling fans, low interest rates got you pinned to the mat? Reverse that hold and counter the competition with a CD from the Lorain Schools Employees Credit Union. Escape with a higher APY and pin down the CD of your choice. Call LSECU at 282-4600. We will make you a winner. 170 pounds, JT Brown, freshman out of Elyria, district qualifier, 34-13. Ricky Godry, a senior out of North Ridgeville, 36-10. He's a district qualifier. We'll feature this one in mat number 1 for the first period.
He's a freshman, 23-16 on mat 3. Daniel Mize from Brookside, 25-14.
Brown, Elyria, black and red. Godry, North Ridgeville, blue and gold. They go out of bounds. They'll come back to the center of the mat. 1:06 to go first period, no score.
Wolford from Brookside, wrestling Daniel Mize from Brookside.
Both wrestlers on their feet at 170 pounds.
Of the year and the officials of the year. That will be next up. So wrestlers, hang loose for a little bit. Coaches of the year.
Godry and Brown, neither one with an advantage, neither one able to score a point here early on. 40 seconds to go first period, no score. JT Brown out of Elyria, Ricky Godry from North Ridgeville. No score, 20 seconds to go first period. They go out of bounds. They'll bring them back to the center of the mat. JT Brown trying to get Godry up. Can't quite do so. No points awarded. Well, I thought Brown might get 2 points, but was unable to do so. They go out of bounds. They'll bring him back to the center of the mat with 8 seconds to go. They go off the side of the mat. 2 seconds, 1, and that'll do it for the first period. No score.
And let's take a peek at mat number 2. We have that match in play in the second period, about a $1:15 to go.
Derek Ebon from Amherst, 33-8. And I believe he is wrestling Larry Verhoevic, a freshman out of Oberlin, 23-16, 8-0, 1 minute to go second period. Young man from Amherst with the advantage, and again, that's Derek Ebon. 10-0 now, he leads it. As they stop the action with 53 seconds to go second period. Ebon out in front.
Yeah, let's take a peek at mat 3.
Okay.
Scoreless match here.
On mat 3, it is a scoreless match. You're right, Joe. And that is Daniel Mize out of Brookside.
Actually,
looks like two Brookside. Right, Mize and Cullen Walford. Walford was an alternate. He's wrestling Daniel Mize. So this was like a practice.
Yeah, I was exactly.
170 pounds. They did this a lot this year at practice.
Looking at them, I'm like, wow, those singlets are very similar. No, wait a minute, they're the same.
And if you think I'm going to know which one's Mize and which one's Wolford, I don't.
Yeah. Come on, Rob.
25 seconds to go. Thanks a lot, Joe.
Well, I could.
You know, even Schlembaker wouldn't have done that to me.
Well, I can confidently say what's the two names?
Cullen Wolford and Daniel Mize. We're going to have to get you a program next year.
Wolford is 0 and Mize is 0.
Yes, you're right. As no score as they approach the end of the second period.
Yeah, just the way you want to end your season, wrestling your teammates.
Everyone for coming out, being a tremendous
Under 5 seconds to go in the period. And that does it for the second period. No points awarded.
Let's head back to the championship match.
All right, championship match.
Dandy here.
Yeah, minute 20 to go in the match. 1-0. And 1-0 the score as we have JT Brown of Elyria against Ricky Godry of North Ridgeville. And they tied at 1 as we get an escape. So we're tied at 1 with 1:10 to go in the match. This by far the most intriguing of the 3 matches at 170 pounds. Other than we don't know what the 2 wrestlers from Brookside, who is who. But JT Brown, a freshman out of Elyria, 34-13. Godry, a senior out of North Ridgeville, 36-10. They go off the side of the mat. They'll come back to the center. Under a minute to go, we're tied at 1.
Yeah, the only points here escapes.
Yep. Shooting in is Godry, trying to get the leg of JT Brown. Has the leg, but unable to get the 2-point takedown yet. Brown countering. No points awarded. Godry's got Brown off his feet, trying to get him to his back for the 2 points, and there it is. Ricky Godry with a 2-point takedown with under 40 seconds to go, leading it 3-1. So the senior leading the freshman. And they go off the edge of the mat with 27 seconds remaining. 3-1 the score. Godry out in front of JT Brown. Joe, you told me we'd be here a half hour tonight. You and I are going to have to talk. 1 point escape, 3-2. It's funny how you and I remember things differently. I can't help it that you misremember. JT Brown gets the 1 point escape. He trails 3-2. 15 seconds. Brown trying to shoot in, get a takedown, Joe, here at the end to go up 4-3. There it is.
Wow.
JT Brown with a takedown to go up 4-3 with under 10 seconds to go.
That's going to do it.
The freshman coming back from down 3-1 with 40 seconds to go, gets an escape and a last-minute takedown, and the freshman from Elyria wins it at 170 pounds, 4-3, and that might have been the most exciting match so far tonight, Joe.
I think so. Very impressive.
I believe now we are going to have a presentation of the awards, so...
oh, no. And to complicate things, we have 0-0. Oh, no.
We're not complicating things, Joe. We're going to break. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more wrestling. We'll go up to 182 pounds. Again, you're watching the Lorain County All-Star Wrestling 34th Annual Edition on WLCS TV 20, home of Lorain City Schools Television.
McGruff the Crime Dog here. We've all heard of identity theft. Now I'm going to show you how those thieves do it. Watch. He's secretly photographing her credit card with his cell phone. Now watch. They pretend they have a package to deliver, and while they're trying to fit it in the mailbox, they're taking her credit card payments and other paid bills. To learn how to protect yourself from identity theft, go to weprevent.org. Keep your identity to yourself and help take a bite out of crime.
All right, go out to the center of the mat if you would, please, Mr. Lewis. Division 1, Coach of the Year from Elyria High School, Mr. Eric Burnett. And Wilmer, take him down. Division 2 from Keystone High School, Mr. Jim Pycraft. Right there. Congratulations, Jim. Well deserved. Division 3 from Black River, Corey Klein. And our official of the year. Congratulations, Corey. Our official of the year, as so recognized not only locally by the state of Ohio, stage is Eric Burnett, Jim Pycraft, Corey Klein, Tom Bauer.
And hope you enjoyed the presentation of the coach and the official of the year right there. Remember we told you that featured match at 120 they were going to wrestle later? Well, they're going to do that right now. So let's go on that featured match. Armando Torres of Elyria, state qualifier, 41-8 against Marcus Cruz, a senior out of Clearview, 45-8, and he finished 7th in the state. So these two state qualifiers this year are going to wrestle at 120 pounds with nobody else on the mat. So, Joe, even you can't mess me up on this one. 120 pounds as they get set. Again, Torres out of Elyria and a Marcus Cruz from Clearview.
State qualifier, Torres, state qualifier, Cruz.
Torres, senior, 41-8. Cruz, senior, Clearview, 45-8. Both made it to state. Cruz finished in 7th place at 120 pounds.
Torres was second in the state as a junior.
And Torres last year was second. This year qualified for it. Torres out of Elyria. He's in the black and red singlet. And Cruz from Clearview in the all black as they go to their feet. Cruz the taller of the two wrestlers. 56 seconds to go first period, no score. These guys at 120 pounds. Torres goes for the right ankle. Cruz counters. Torres working on the lower legs of Marcus Cruz. Now he's going to get a 2-point takedown. They are going to award Torres with a 2-point takedown. Gets the first points of the match, Joe, with under 30 seconds to go first period. 120 pounds. Again, both these young men competed the state tournament, different divisions, so they wouldn't have seen each other down there. Elyria, of course, Division 1, Clearview, Division 3, I believe. Under 10 seconds to go first period. Torres up 2-0. And Torres is going to get some back points here, Joe.
Yeah, he'll be going into the second up 5-0.
And Armando Torres up 5-0 as they're going to begin the second period over Marcus Cruz. And see what they elect to do. Torres says, I'll go up. Cruz will start on the bottom, second period. Official brings them to the mat. And we're ready to begin the second period again. In this all-star match tonight, wrestling 90-second periods, Joe, a minute and a half instead of the 2 minutes that they normally do. So they've shaved a minute and a half off of these matches and shortening the periods.
That's you know the reason they did that.
Well, I'm sure the wrestlers.
No, they didn't want you to be here all night.
Well, that wasn't successful. Torres of
Sorry
Cruz
about that.
up 5-0. Torres trying to get Cruz to his back. Torres out in front, 5-0. He has been in complete control this entire match of these two state qualifiers at 120 pounds.
They said Rob's got to work tomorrow, so let's make him 90 seconds instead of 2 minutes.
40 seconds to go second period. And Torres again, yes, going to get some back points as he is out in front of Marcus Cruz. 3 more back points. He takes an 8-0 lead, Joe, with 30 seconds to go second period. Marcus Cruz trying to make this a match, but it's been all Armando Torres, the young man out of Elyria, out in front, 8-0. And Cruz trying to get off of his back. Torres rolls him through. Back to their base, 5 seconds to go in the second period.
Torres really dominated so far this match. I know this was a much anticipated feature match, but so far Torres is,
He's had much the better of it, no doubt. 8-0 he leads. Start of the third period.
See if he can muster something here.
Both of these young men seniors. Both fine careers. Torres, a state qualifier this year, finished second in the state last year as a junior. Marcus Cruz finished 7th in the state this year. Cruz 45-8, Torres 41-8 this year. And Cruz gets a 2-point takedown and he leads it 10-0 with 1 minute to go in the match. He lets him up, so Cruz is able to get a point, makes it 10-1. Both wrestlers will go to their feet. Cruz looks a little tired. Torres has had the better of it tonight so far. Shooting in a double leg, trying to get another takedown. Torres is going to. Torres gets a 2-point takedown, trying to get Cruz to his back. 40 seconds to go. Going for the back points, has him on his back, and he might have a pinning combination here, Joe. He's up 12-1.
He's got 35 seconds, too.
And Marcus Cruz rolls out of that. 3 more back points makes it 15-1. So Armando Torres is going to get the win over Marcus Cruz with 20 seconds to go in this match. Complete control by the young man from Elyria.
And very close to a tech fall here.
You can see why he was a state runner-up last year. He's been outstanding in this matchup with 10 seconds to go. Torres still working on top. 3 seconds, 2, and that is going to do it. So Armando Torres with the win in the featured match, 15-1. So Armando Torres awarded the win, and we'll move up to 182 pounds. We'll go to 182 pounds, Joe. And mat number 1, the featured match out of Keystone, 39-2. Finished 5th in the state last weekend. Jacob Worthington against Talon Dorton, a district qualifier, 24-16 out of North Ridgeville. The other matches tonight: DJ Childers out of Brookside wrestling Jason Barnacle out of Avon Lake, and Ryan Steinmetz out of Avon wrestling Joshua Fisher from Keystone.
Looks like we only have 2 mats going.
Okay.
So
you're right. I should have learned to stop listening to that PA announcer about 2 hours ago. Worthington and Dalton tie up in the center of the mat. 1 minute to go, first period, no score. Again, Worthington out of Keystone in the purple, and in the blue and gold out of North Ridgeville is Dorton. They bring him back to the center of the mat. 182 pounds. Both these young men are juniors. So Worthington, who finished 5th in the state last weekend, he'll be back next year for his senior year. And for Coach Pycraft, they got to have high expectations for that young man from Keystone. 43 seconds to go in the match. First period, I should say.
Yeah, Keystone program, very good the last couple years.
Yeah, you're right.
Keystone was the only team to qualify for the state duels last year.
Jim Pycraft's been there a long time, Joe, and done a good job with that program. Right now, no points being awarded with 20 seconds to go as they are close to being off the edge of the mat. Worthington and Dorton, and they are going to have a stalemate. They're going to bring them back to the center of the mat. With 17 seconds to go in the first period. Bring him back to the center of the mat. Worthington and in trouble, and I believe we're going to get a 2-point takedown here, Joe, from the young man, the district qualifier for North Ridgeville, Dorton.
Yeah, short time, too.
He gets the first two points of the match. You're right, gets it at the end of the first period, and after 1 period, Dorton from North Ridgeville ahead of Worthington of Keystone, the state qualifier, 2-0.
Yeah, we'll take a peek over at
as we see the end of that period, 5-2 as they just end the period right there. Young man from Avon Lake out in front, Jason Barnacle over DJ Childers of Brookside. Barnacle, a junior, 24-15. Childers, the freshman out of Brookside, 23-16. 182 pounds, and even though they had listed 6 wrestlers and 3 matches going on at this weight class, we are only going to have the 2 matches. And after this, there are just 3 weight classes remaining, and Lorain is scheduled to have a young man in each weight class coming up. So Barnacle with the lead over Childers, trying to get Childers to his back, and we're going to have a stoppage, a potentially dangerous situation, as Childers has gotten hurt, Joe, either an elbow or a shoulder, and I think the longtime trainer at Elyria, Ann Hamaker, going to come out and take a look at Childers.
And while that's going on, I'm bumped back here to championship match.
All right, and in the championship match, now we are tied at 2. Jacob Worthington gets a 2-point takedown, and we are tied at 2 with 30 seconds to go in the second period. Worthington in purple from Keystone. Dorton out of North Ridgeville in the blue and gold. Worthington trying to get Dorton to his back. They were beginning to count. But, yeah, we are going to get 2 points there, Joe, for Worthington. He leads at 4-2. And Childers has really hurt his right elbow as Ann Hammaker, the trainer from Elyria High, is checking this out. And some more points for Worthington. He leads at 7-2. Under 5 seconds to go, second period. And that'll do it for the second period. Worthington from Keystone out in front of Dorton of North Ridgeville, 7-2.
Yeah, well, they're tending to the Brookside Wrestler. We'll just keep it here on Mat 1. We just started the third period.
Yep, 7-2, both wrestlers on their feet. Worthington to your left, Dorton to the right. .1:15 to go as they lock horns. Worthington trying to get Dorton to his back. Dorton, no, nice counter. No points awarded yet. And it looks like Worthington has just caught Dorton there, and he's going to get the 2-point takedown, and he has Dorton in trouble. Caught Dorton, he slipped, and he's got him on his back. Up 9-2, under a minute to go in the third period.
Oh, doesn't look good. We could see a pin here.
Right, we haven't had many. Yep. Right there is I think our first pin of the night. 45 seconds to go, at least at the championship.
I believe you're right.
And it'll be Worthington getting the pin over Dorton. And I think we're about ready to resume the other match at 182, or are they going to end it here?
Yeah, we have
Adam Kukta from Lorain, 30-8. Mr. Qualifier with Zach Freeze. Brookside, 37-12. That's on mat 1. Jeremy King. Keystone, 30-11.
Well, we're going to keep going at 182. Had a long delay here with Childers and Barnacle, but they're going to resume it. A minute 22 to go, 5-2. Barnacle from Avon Lake with the lead. And Joe, we've got a featured match at 195, a young man from Lorain, just to let you know. That is Adam Kukta.
And then we'll do the last 2 weight classes.
Childers still wrestling with 1 minute to go. No points awarded.
Oh, wow, they didn't wait until, let's see, they're starting the match over on mat 3 of the next weight class.
Well, you've been here for over 2 hours, and somebody at least said,
I don't disagree.
Let's go. 10-3, Barnacle with the lead.
Let's take a peek over at the match that just started over there on mat number 3. No, that's 2.
That is...
It's an Avon and an Oberlin wrestler.
So that's Paul Sturm out of Avon and Morality Anderson, a sophomore from Oberlin High School.
And about 30 seconds to go in the first. There's no score here.
Yep, and we're getting set for Adam Kukta and Zach Freeze to wrestle. And that is the featured match on mat 1. 2-0, the young man from Avon, Sturm with the lead over Anderson of Oberlin. 15 seconds to go in the first period. And we are getting close to the featured match at 195 with Adam Kukta from Lorain. 5 seconds to go. 2-0. Sturm from Avon with the lead. And that is going to do it for that. So, Joe, let's head over to mat number 1 as we get set for the young man from Lorain at 195 pounds.
I don't think they're going to start these. It doesn't look, the referees.
Oh, okay. I thought we were ready to.
Well, let's. This one's about to finish here, I think, with a possible tech fall here.
15-3, 15-5 now. Barnacle leads Childers. Barnacle in the dark uniform from Avon Lake. Childers in the red and white from Brookside High School. 1:06 to go. You're right. I thought Kukta was ready to start his match. You're right, they're not. Childers down by 10. A minute to go. Had a lot of delays in that wrestling match as Childers was hurt a few times, but he's trying to finish. Barnacle trying to get to his feet, trying to get a one-point escape. Childers brings him back. But now Barnacle's got the right ankle of Childers as he's trying to get a reversal in 2 points. 35 seconds to go in this match. Childers down by 10 points from Brookside with 25 seconds to go. And a 2-point reversal from Barnacle. So he's going to go up 17-5 with 17 seconds to go. And he stopped the match again.
It's a pin.
Oh, that was a pin?
Yes.
Thank you. So it was Barnacle getting the pin over Childers.
All right. And for some reason, we're still not ready here, so we'll bounce over to mat number 3. No, 2. I always get that confused. This is 2.
And that's the end of the second period there, so I think we're ready for now, finally.
Yeah, yep.
195 pounds, Adam Cook to Lorain. 30-8 district qualifier going up against Zach Fries of Brookside. 37-12, he's a district qualifier as well.
Should be a good match.
And after this match, then we'll take a break, and they'll have 2 more matches with wrestlers from Lorain before we call it a night, or a morning, or whatever it is. And then Joe and I are going to have a little discussion off the air. Adam Cookta tied up with Zach Fries, center of the mat. Cookta and Fries at 195
I feel you're never going to believe me again.
I'm just teasing you, Joe. Cookta gets a 2-point takedown before they go off the edge of the mat. Cookta goes up 2-0 with 1:08 to go in the period. Cookta out in front 2-0. On top, Cookta in the dark uniform. And the young man from Brookside in the white uniform is Fries.
Dedication in memory of her.
50 seconds to go in the first period, 2-0. Cookta leads, and he's trying to get some back points here as he has the young man from Brookside in some trouble. Fries.
He's holding 3.
There it is. Makes it 5-0. Thanks for seeing that, Joe. Cookta with a 5-0 lead as Fries trying to get out of it. Can't do so. Cookta has him right where he wants him. 30 seconds to go first period, and he tries to roll him over again. Not quite able to do so. And they are going to give him 2, though, because he had him on his back shortly. Makes it 7-0 again. Cookta gets Fries on his back. And the count goes on for more back points as Cookta is dominating here in this first period. He's going to get 2 more points and leads 10-0. 8 seconds. And that is going to do it for our first period. Cookta out in front 10-0 as we go to the end of the first period. And they're going to give him 2 more points. He leads 12-0. Cookta is dominating at 195, Joe.
On the other mat, we had the Avon wrestler prevailing over Oberlin.
Yep, and so that would have been Paul Sturm with a win over Morality Anderson. And our other match, I'm not sure who that... Anyway, we've got Cookta on mat number 2, or mat number 1, I'm sorry, at the center. Cookta leading 13-0, 1:10 to go in the second period. Cookta dominating Zach Fries here, and Fries went 37-12, Joe. And Cookta is making it look easy as he gets a 15-0 technical fall win for Adam Cookta. So the senior from Lorain ends his year in fine style with a technical fall. He came into the match at 30-8, wins the All-Star match 15-0.
And we'll take a peek at.
You know, I was trying to figure that out, but
I don't know if they got out of sequence.
Yeah, you've got a Keystone wrestler. Unless they went up to 220 pounds on us. $20 seconds to go in the second period, tied at 4. Got an Avon wrestler and a Keystone wrestler. If it's 195 pounds, we have that Keystone wrestler as Jeremy King. Unless that's Paul Sturm, and then that other wrestler from Avon wasn't earlier. I don't know.
I don't know. I will say after this match here, we're going to take a really short break, and then we're going to come back and they're going to award the Wrestlers of the Year.
Once again, just a reminder, Wrestler of the Year, Division 1 and 2, and the Lorain County Wrestler of the Year will be presented here momentarily.
Start of the third period. We're tied at 4.
The Paul Reynolds Wrestler of the Year.
Young man from Avon on top, the Keystone Wrestler on the bottom. I believe it's Jeremy King of Keystone, and we'll say Paul Sturm of Avon at 195 pounds. One minute to wrestle, tied at 4. They'll bring him back to the center of the mat, tied at 4 with 54 seconds to go. And the Avon wrestler says, let him up on his feet, make it 5-4. So he wants to wrestle on his feet, go for a takedown to get the win.
Must feel pretty confident.
5-4 for the young man out in front for Keystone. 45 seconds to go. They're going off to the side of the mat. The Avon wrestler much more aggressive here. Sturm against Jeremy King, a senior out of Keystone. King, a senior, 30-11, a district qualifier. Sturm, Avon, 31-14. King shooting in, double leg, trying to get a 2-point takedown, and if he does so, he'll lead 7-4. But rolling through is Sturm, no points awarded yet.
Wow.
5-4, they're going close to the edge of the mat. They are out of bounds. 18 seconds to go, no points awarded. Boy, that was really close for Sturm.
Both of them.
You're right.
Well, once we finish this, we'll be doing Wrestlers of the Year, and we'll wrestle 220 and heavyweight. And again, we want to thank everyone for coming out. What a great
10 seconds to go.
Terrific fan support, and we appreciate everyone being here.
At the center of the mat. Under 5 seconds to go. Are we going to gain points? And there's a 2-point takedown right at the buzzer for Sturm to win it 5-4.
No, 6-5.
6-5, thank you, Joe.
Wow, he was behind 5-4 with about 2 seconds left, made the move and got the takedown with virtually no time left.
We'll take this time out, and when we come back, we'll have the last 2 matches of the night. 220 pounds in heavyweight coming up next on WLCS TV 20, home of Lorain City Schools Television.
To the men and women of the United States Armed Forces, the USO is home. The USO depends on the generosity of the American people. Donate today at USO.org.
From Elyria High School, Armando Torres. Where's Armando at? There he is. Congratulations, Division I Wrestler of the Year. Division. Take a nice picture there. Look toward the camera there. Attaboy. Congratulations, Armando. Hold on there. Hold on. Get over there. Get over there. Don't be camera shy here now. All right. Division II Wrestler of the Year. 152 pounds from Vermillion High School, Mike Refko. Mr. Jim Baraducci will be taking out the Paul Reynolds Memorial Wrestler of the Year trophy, and it is a beauty. This award was purchased and donated by Mr. Jim Baraducci in honor and memory of his lovely wife, Marcia, who passed away from cancer. And Jim, thank you. Our Wrestler of the Year, at 106 pounds, a state champion from Black River, Sebastian Bendica. Wrestler of the Year. Congratulations. Outstanding. We're all very proud of you, Sebastian. Great job. Great job, son. Jim, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Baraducci.
We hope you enjoyed our presentation of the Wrestlers of the Year. Sebastian Bendica, the Lorain County Wrestler of the Year, 106-pound state champion. And now we're going to move up to 220 pounds. And we're looking for the Lorain Wrestler. And
Scott from Firelands. Band 3, Ivan Mendoza, Brookside.
It'll be Andre Torres.
From Avon.
I don't see his uniform though, Joe.
No.
So I don't think that's him.
Nope.
I'm guessing that he is not here. So it's your call, buddy.
We'll be on the championship match.
All right. We'll go to the championship match with Ryan Sloan out of Black River against Todd Hastings of Amherst. Sloan, a junior out of Black River, 34-11. Hastings, a sophomore at Amherst at 20-14. And they start to wrestle, 2-0 with 1:10 to go, first period. Sloan from Black River with the early lead.
Let's take a look at, this is going to be quick over here, I think.
Okay.
Let's take a look at this.
The young man from Avon out in front. He is on top and getting close to getting a pin. Joe was thinking.
Oh,
Joe, that's what you get for thinking,
That's
Joe.
what I get for thinking.
Joe Trevlaganti from Avon out in front of Corbin Chisamadia from Keystone. You just wanted me to say those last names, didn't
Yeah,
you?
I did.
Yeah, you studied this program and saw it and decided we were going to go over there.
I was hoping that would be the feature match, and I would just stay on that one. All right, let's go back to the championship match.
30 seconds to go in the first period. 2-1, Sloan over Hastings. This is 220 pounds. After this, we'll have our heavyweights, and that will conclude the wrestling for tonight. Sloan getting Hastings to his back, gets a 2-point takedown. Has Hastings in trouble here towards the end of the first period. Hastings on his back with 10 seconds to go in the period. Sloan from Black River rolling through, and there's the pin, Joe, with 4 seconds to go in the first period.
I knew there was a pin coming.
Yes.
I just had the wrong mat. All right.
So Sloan gets the win. And you want to go over the one where we don't know who the wrestlers are.
Sure.
That figures. 2-1 is our score with 1:28 to go, second period. I think it's Ivan Mendoza of Brookside against Austin Scott of Firelands.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Yep, Firelands, I could see that.
Yep.
And
the Brookside wrestler Mendoza on top. He went 32-4 this year, wrestling Austin Scott, a district qualifier at 21-18 out of Firelands.
You're right on the money there.
Thank you, sir. It only took 3 hours to figure it out. Under a minute to go in the first period, 4-1. It is Mendoza. Mendoza's a junior, Scott's a senior. Again, you're watching high school wrestling, the 34th annual Lorain County All-Star match from Elyria High School. Mendoza has Scott in trouble. Gets Scott to his back with 30 seconds to go in the second period. Mendoza looking for the pinning combination. And Scott's going to have to fight off his back here with 20 seconds to go, and he can't do it. There's the pin for Mendoza with 21 seconds.
All right, now let's.
And our own name match, Joe, with Joe Travagliganti against Corbin Chismadia. Travagliganti, a junior out of Avon, 35-9. And Chismadia, a senior at Keystone, district qualifier at 20-13. 8-1 Travagliganti with the lead at the end of the second period.
So Rob, what ethnicity is that? Easy for me to say.
How about no idea?
No idea. Okay.
Somewhere
in Europe, maybe.
They both would be at the International Festival this summer. How's that?
There we go. I love the International Festival.
Who doesn't? Travagliganti, that might be he might be representing Italy. I would
Travagliganti.
I would guess. So Joe Travagliganti in the gold and purple of Avon. Again, Chismadia from Keystone. And we've got 1 minute to go in the match. Travagliganti with a 8-3 lead. After this, we will have one more match at 285 pounds, or one more weight class, I should say. And it'll be Sadi Santana out of Lorain, we believe. At 21-13, will be wrestling Jason Bustance of Keystone High School. We'll have to wait and see if that is
exactly. It ain't so, Rob. We're almost done.
Oh, I'm sure you'll have like JV matches or something for me when this is over. 35 seconds to go in the match. 10-4, Travagliganti with the lead. Again, this will conclude the wrestling season this year in Lorain County, as the state championships were this past weekend. 15 seconds to go. Both wrestlers on their feet. Travagliganti is going to get the win, as he leads at 10-4 with under 10 seconds remaining. Now, we won't have any more points awarded here as they continue to dance around the mat. And that'll do it. Travagliganti wins at 10-4. Now we're going to go to our final weight class and the heavyweight.
Matches of the night, and what an outstanding job all the young people have done. Heavyweight on that one. From Lorain.
Mat number one, third in the state. Kevin Vo, a freshman at Elyria, 43-6, will wrestle Nick Bailey, a senior out of North Ridgeville, at 24-3. And then we have Sadi Santana of Lorain against Jason Bustance of Keystone. So right now we're on Santana as we begin this. Santana, sophomore out of Lorain at 21-13. Bustance, a senior at Keystone, at 30-15. Both wrestlers on their feet, no score, 1:05 to go, first period.
We hope everyone will be careful driving home this evening.
Santana and Bustance over to the edge of the mat. No score yet, 50 seconds to go, first period. Santana getting close to getting a 2-point takedown, it looks like, but he slipped, Joe, as he put his move in, and it looks like Bustance takes advantage of it. I think he caught Santana, and he's going to get the 2-point takedown, and he's probably going to get some back points here.
Oh, you got to be careful here.
Yeah, it was close. Santana looked like he was going to get the takedown, but Bustance caught him in a move and got the 2 points, and I think he's going to get some back points here, too, as we're down to 20 seconds to go in the first period. Looked like, to be honest with you, just some bad luck there for Santana. And Bustance, the senior with that experience, was able to catch him, Joe, the district qualifier at 30-15. And now Santana rolls through, and I think he's going to get he gets a reversal with 5 seconds to go in the period, and he's going to trail it 4-2 with just 1 second to go in the first period.
Some great short time points there.
Santana trailing 4-2. Will be on top. And that will do it for the first period.
Let's take a peek at the championship match.
And that championship match again is Vo of Elyria and Bailey of North Ridgeville. 4-0 the score right now. They're in the center of the mat. Both wrestlers up. Vo gets the 2-point takedown leading 6-0. Joe, how's this for a guy with a bright future? He's a freshman from Elyria, went 43-6 as a freshman, finished 3rd in the state last weekend.
Wow.
And he has 3 years remaining. So Vo out
Heavyweights
front 6-1.
in the state of Ohio, beware.
Yeah, no doubt. 50 seconds to go, second period. Vo with a 6-1 lead over Nick Bailey, who's a senior from North Ridgeville. He was outstanding this year, 24-3.
Yeah, like I say, Lorain County wrestling this year is very, very good.
Yeah, we saw the best of it tonight. 30 seconds to go in the period, second period. 6-1, Vo out front. Final 2 matches of the night. Vo and Bailey. And the big fellas are, it looks like they're running out of gas. 12 seconds to go in the period. Vo out in front 6-1 as they lock horns at the center of the map. Vo trying to get a takedown at the end of the period. Well, Bailey almost caught him. Vo slipped out of it. And 3 seconds, 2. That's going to do it for the second period. And it's 6-1 Vo with the lead with 1 period remaining.
All right.
10 seconds to go in the match featuring the Lorain wrestler Sadi Santana. And he and Jason Boostance. It's 4-2. 2 seconds, 1, and that'll do it for the second period. They will head to the third period. Santana saying that he is going to, I believe, start in the down position. As Boostance will be up. I believe Boostance is up 4-2.
Yes.
And we start the third period. Santana needs a 2-point reversal to tie. Boostance still has him in control on top. 1:10 to go in the match. And Vo in the championship match gets a pin over Bailey with 45 seconds to go in the match. So Kevin Vo, the outstanding wrestler from Elyria, gets the pin. So now we have 1 minute to go in the match with Santana and Boostance. Boostance trying to get Santana to his back. Boostance trying to get Santana to his back. Santana needs a reversal to tie it up. Santana now. Boostance gets him to his back. 30 seconds to go in the match. Boostance trying to get a pin here to end the wrestling here tonight. But Santana's able to roll out of it. Good for him. Back points. 7-2, Boostance with the lead. The wrestler from Keystone with 20 seconds to go. A 1-point escape makes it 7-3. They'll come to the center of the mat.
He needs a quick takedown and some back points.
Yes, he does. See what happens here. Santana backing out. Now he's going to come after him, see if he's got one takedown here. 12 seconds to go. They lock up with 10 seconds to go. They're going to go off to the edge of the mat and out of bounds with 8 seconds to go. Well, Santana's got to go immediately at him, get the takedown, and then try to get some back points. 7-3, Boostance from Keystone with the lead. There goes Santana shooting in, trying to get the takedown. Boostance fights him off, and that is going to do it. That'll conclude the match with the Boostance of beating Sadi Santana by a score of 7-3.
Well, Rob, all good things must come to an end. I know you'd love to stay here all night, but wrestling's done. They're tearing up the mats, and that's going to conclude our 2013-14 wrestling season here on TV 20.
Yeah, great to be here with you. Appreciate the invite. A lot of fun at Elyria High School, and they do a nice job having this All-Star. My first opportunity to see this All-Star festivities, and very, very well done as they bring the entire county together and do a super job. And we saw a lot of good wrestlers here tonight, Joe, and hopefully you and I will get to do more of this next winter.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward. Lorain has a very young team, and we had Anton Edwards finished third in the state, and he's a sophomore, so really looking forward. We've got a lot of young wrestlers, so looking for some good things happening in Lorain wrestling in the years to come.
That'll conclude our coverage of All-Star Wrestling. We're at Elyria High School again for Joe Bach. This is Rob Polinsky saying you've been watching Lorain County All-Star Wrestling on WLCS TV 20, home of Lorain City Schools Television.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools, TV 20 WLCS.
To purchase a high-quality copy of the program you just viewed, please call Lorain City Schools Television at 282-8400.